Hey up, me ducks. How are we? That looks very dark, doesn't it? On what's probably one of the hottest days of the year. Let me see if my ring light needs adjusting. I don't want to get that situation where you have like the rings in your eyes. Maybe if I turn that one on too. That's like a bit better. That's better, isn't it? How are we all doing? If I've got that sort of... I'm not even in shot properly, am I? What am I like? Let's get that. How's that? That will do. If I've got that sort of nice kind of glow about me, it's because it's so hot. It's beautiful. Going on. I must be. I don't know what I must be, but tomorrow I'm going on a 10k walk. Going out for the day. Out into Derbyshire. Through some woods and some... half of it is uphill. But it's all part of the... I'm going with friends. So it's always nice, isn't it, when you've got someone to go with and have a chat to. But anyway, we've got D, who's A up Simon, Nottingham born. But let's go back and see who we've got. So we've got Scott was the first one in. Hello, Scott. Even acknowledges first in. Woohoo. And Nancy, Chris, not going to be able to make it because of class. Yeah. Kay, Tammy Pie, Cuppa is back. Cuppa is back. Have we all got our cuppas at the ready? I've got coffee with oat milk. Oh, yeah, nice to just sit and have a cuppa with friends. We've got Ellie, MA, Evelyn, hello. Very excited for CC&C. Orshi, need to do stuff, so won't be in chat. Is our L. How you doing, my duck? Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Scorchio Saturday. You must be in the UK as well, Joanne. I think you are actually, from memory. Then we've got D and Renee. Nice to see Renee. Kimberly. Ben's here. Hey Ben, I've just watched the second episode of Dynasty. It's alright. I mean, it's not a patch on the original, but it's alright. Adam's here. Hello, Adam. Mitchell. Hello, Mitchell. And we've got Kat. Hey up, Kat. How you doing? Have you been out today, or are you kind of staying indoors and keeping out of the sun? Jackie's here. Jackie Jacaranda, how you doing? And who else? Let's see. Celia. Selkie. Hello, Selkie. Nice to see you. And Patsy's here. Hello, Patsy. Stephanie. And the other Kim. Our Kim. Lovely Kim from Moon Whisper. How are you doing? It's lovely to see you. And Rebecca Miccioni. Is that how you say your name? Greetings from Italy. All love in this room between us and Italy. Just putting that out there. All love. Kay, hello Kay, nice to see you. We've got Blue Mountain Tarot. If I moved over there in retirement, can we go have a coffee and a cake after the pandemic subsides? Yes, I'll take you to Patisserie Valerie. We'll go to Patisserie Valerie and have high tea. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Scorchy not here too. And we have also got the new Dynasty don't have the hair or the shoulder pads, Simon. I know, and I like that they brought it up to date, but I don't know, there was something kind of camp kitsch and a little bit cheesy about the original Dynasty that just had a charm of its own. Joe, hello Joe. And Kristen, hello Kristen's just in. Oh wow, Pats is off on a ghost hunt tonight. Did one last night at a local unused RAF base, tonight a disused church. Wow, I've only ever done one years ago, Derby Jail. and it was really cool. So I love things like that. You know, I don't know where I sit with it, but it's still just for the thrill and the entertainment factor. It's pretty good. So, yeah, so hello to everybody. How's everybody's weekend going? If you're in the UK, it's extremely hot. Probably not as hot as in other parts of the world, but we're just not used to it, so we go on and on and on about it, as I am doing now. And has everybody got a cuppa? I'd imagine most people have got cold drinks, but I haven't. I still feel that a nice cuppa cools me down. Not initially, as I'm drinking it, I'm like, why am I drinking this? But then after I finished it, it kind of regulates my temperature. Kat says, I spent the morning outside with a book and then retreated indoors until it gets cool enough and late enough to see the bats. Yeah. See, over here, it's hottest between 2 and 3, isn't it? During our summer months. We get the heat between 2 and 3. So, tomorrow's going to be fun. And before anybody asks, yes, I've got sunscreen. I've got it. So, and I've shaved my head ready so I can just lather myself with sunscreen. Midnight Meditations, hello, nice to see you as well. Anne Showers Curtis, hi Simon and everyone, happy to be here though it's been a while for me. Wow, did you have a different name as well? Anne Showers Curtis, that name doesn't ring a bell. Simon Hat, I can't, Selkie. I have a really big head and I can't get hats to fit, so they just look ridiculous on me, they really do. Ask Sandra, Elle, or Becca, or even Debbie, Debbie Doobly-Doo Bumblebee, because we all went to Becca's for Halloween and they're all wearing hats, and I was showing them how hats do not fit on my head. When I worked at the American Adventure theme park years and years ago, I was the undertaker of the cowboy town, Silver City's undertaker, and they had to have a hat especially made for me so it would fit my head. First time on live with the Hermit's Cave. Well, welcome Lily Valley. Nice to see you. How is the heat in Germany? The hottest time is between 11 and 2. All right. Yeah, I guess it's whereabouts you are, how your position above the equator, I'm guessing. Trying to make out sound like I know what I'm talking about. So, I have had a different username at the time, either Annie Magus or it's just a thing, but never mind. Well, anyway, welcome back and it's nice to see you. So, South Australia, 1 a.m. Wow, Natalie. Obviously a night owl or can't sleep, but it's nice to have you here. Maybe my dulcet tones will help you drift off into a nice slumber. Try a bandana, Simon. Oh my gosh, that would be a sight for sore eyes, wouldn't it? Anyway, let's do a channel shout out. So when I did a live, a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't a Cuppa Catching Cards because this is the first one. But I did a live and I just said if anybody wanted channel shout outs, and I got a lovely email from somebody. So I'm going to do a channel shout out now. It's from Rudy. Let me open up my images. So, Forest for the Trees. So now Rudy has been on YouTube for quite a while and would just love some support really. They do a lot of things such as love and general readings. They do them for each of the star signs as well. They've got deck walkthroughs. They've been a reader of tarot for over 20 years. And I particularly enjoyed watching the Oracle of Echoes because they did a side-by-side with the original and the new second edition. I still need to get that. I've got the original. It's one of my favourite oracles, so I will get that at some point. Probably after Glastonbury now. I'm trying to save as much as I can for Glastonbury. Elle has put the link into the chat, so thank you for that, Elle. And if you want to... and Forest for the Trees is there. Because I just had an email saying that you wouldn't be able to make it because you was at work. So have you snuck out of work? So there you are, Forest for the Trees. Do check out the channel. It's really interesting. And yeah, lots of good mix of readings, but also, you know, walkthroughs and stuff like that. So yeah, do check them out. And again, if anybody wants channel shout out, then I'm more than happy to do that. So what's been happening with people? Let's have a bit of a chit chat, and then I've got a few. I want to do a bit of a tag, not a bit of a tag, an actual tag. Anna Astral Lady. I always call her Anna Astral Lady, and the channel is now Astral Lady Tarot. What used to be Anna Astral Lady, and that's kind of what sticks. But I'll be doing that tag soon in a little while. But I've got a couple of things just to show you. You're welcome. You're very, very welcome. So, yeah. Hot. What's been happening with folks? What sort of week have people had? Any new acquisitions? Anything anybody wants to talk about? While I kind of cool down. I ought to get my fan out really. But it's too late now. I'll do it later. Oh, Laurie's here. Hello, Laurie. Nice to see you as well. Oh, chat stalled. It's just gone completely stalled. Subbed. Yay. So Midnight Meditations are subbed, so that's good. Alright. Well, being as you lot are so chatty, what's with the gap in your tarot box? Ooh. L. Aren't you eagle-eyed? How did you even... Because maybe it's clearer on a device like a phone or something, but to me it just looks like a shadow. I would never have spotted that there's a gap there. But that's a nice little segue in, because I've received a tin from Make Playing Cards, which I'm really excited about because, as you can see, I love me a tarot tin. There is over 20 tarot tins in this little cubby, and I've got these tarot tins here as well. And yeah, if you buy a deck from Make Playing Cards, generally they just come shrink wrapped. So unless you've got a bag or a nice box to put it in or a cloth to wrap it in, I like to get tins because then they're great to throw in your bag, they protect them really well, but you can print directly onto the tin. You can have the option of printing a sticker, which I think Christoph actually, yeah, Christoph for the Raincoast Tarot does stickers. So that's the sticker version, and you can have a sticker for the back. But I actually prefer this version, like for my Brush and Full, where it's almost like a matte finish, and it prints directly onto the tin, and it's really, really nice. So so yes, our L spotted straight away that there's a gap. I have got the tin for Pam's old deck. Now this is the problem with having all these lights on, because it's going to kind of oversaturate it. That's not too bad, is it? So if you go, and this is Pam's old deck, so this can go in my tin now. It's been out on a little stand because I'm using this all the time. That's the backs. This is that gorgeous, gorgeous deck. If you go on to, because when I last did a walkthrough of Pam's old deck, it's by Conrad Stain, by the way, who did the CS Tarot. When I last did the walkthrough, there was only two versions. There was the tarot-sized version and a mini. Now, let me just show you what you can get. There is, as you can see on the far right there, this Pam's old deck. That's the one I'm holding in my hands on its own. And then there is a Pam's old deck plus the tin, which is the tin I'm showing you here, which is $40, which is really, really good. Or you can now get Pam's old deck plastic and in a tin, and you can also get the mini and Yeah, the mini. I don't know why that's appearing twice. Pam's old deck plastic. Oh, the plastic on its own without the tin. Yeah. So there's these different options now, which is really good. So there is also, just to show you that, because if you buy, as you just saw there through Make Playing Cards, there is this option. Let me get it so you can see it. The full. Okay. But if you go to the Hermit's Cave Facebook group and go to files in there, you'll see there's also a Hermit option. Now I was going to go with the Hermit option, but I thought it would get confused with my Hermit one. I mean, they are different, but I've got the Hermit option for my CS Tarot by Conrad Stain. So I thought, well, actually, it'll be nice to get the full, because I don't have any tins with the full on it. Why am I showing you that? Like the full's going to be on top. But also, you can get a tin cover of the backs. So you can actually go to the files in the Hermit's Cave Facebook group, go to Make Playing Cards, customize tin. It's dead easy, and you just drag the file, save the file to your desktop, and then just drag it in, and it goes onto the tin, and you hit buy, and it prints it for you. So, and the backs gorgeous, aren't they? I love these backs. Really, really beautiful backs. Hello, peeping around from behind the image. So yeah. So there's lots of different options for you, but I love it. I have got a plastic version of the CS Tarot as well, and I think at some point, well, actually I think I'd like the mini, because I've got the mini CS, which was actually gifted to me, which is really cute little mini deck. But I would probably like this. I don't know if I'd get this in the plastic. Yeah, with it being vintage, I think I need it to be paper for it to be a vintage deck. Does that make sense? Because if it's plastic, it's going to feel modern. But I know what I mean when I say that. So L, it's going to go there, next to my study deck, the 1910, the 1909, and my vintage. I've got my Dirty Pam, because that's another favourite of mine. So this is the, in case you're wondering what I'm talking about here, this is the Dirty Pam with the lovely colours. It's the Page of Cups. I just pulled my Significator card. This is just a gorgeous deck. So yeah, there's some of my favourites that are out on the desk with me, but they're really handy. Anybody else bother with tins? Do anybody else get them and collect them and enjoy them? Let's have a quick scroll back, see if I'm missing any comments. So hot. I got the mini version of the Blushing Fool, couldn't afford the full size one. Well, that's, you say you can't afford it. I mean, the mini version that I got of the Blushing Fool, I've got the mini blue box Blushing Fool and the mini yellow box Blushing Fool. I think the mini was dearer than the first Blushing Fool I ever bought. But when I bought the Blushing Fool, you see, not many people had even heard of it. So I got it for like £30. The price of a mass-produced deck off eBay. My second one, which I ended up trading, because that was a blue box Blushing Fool, Waddington's one, I paid about 100 for, because people had caught onto it by then. But I traded that with Brandt for a yellow box, so that I would have a yellow box Blushing Fool and a blue box Blushing Fool, and the same in the mini. Having a bit of difficulty finding a channel. I'm glad Elle was able to help there. I just ordered the new Cosmic Oracle, the astronomy deck. It was pricey, but I went for it. Ooh, Kristen Louise, you're going to show it when you get it. Exciting blue box RWS from a charity shop. I believe it's 75.76. Yeah, it's like my friend, Oh my gosh, Ben is mind. Not Ben, my mind went right off it. Not Ben, who's in the chat. I'm doubting myself now. Hold on 1 minute. Bear with me. Oh, gosh, I'm so hot. That's not me paying myself a compliment either. Yes, it is Ben. My friend Ben managed to get a blushing fool as well, not even realising at the time when he bought it was a blushing fool. Sent me all the pictures and I was like, that's a blushing fool. But I didn't want to say, yes, it's definitely blushing fool. But I could see Waddington's, I could see the coloration on the box with the wreath and everything. And I thought, you've got a blushing fool. And then he messaged me saying, it's a blushing fool. Okay, let me go back to the chat. My mother sent me 2 of the decks I had sent to her. The Wanderer's Travelling Oracle deck and the Arcanist Tarot. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, so Intuitive Renee likes tins but struggled to open them. Yeah, I can imagine there would be a little bit difficult. I think the more that you use them, so something like my Moonlight Oracle, which I use all the time, it's really easy to come off. I mean, it's still sturdy. I just had a vision of them going everywhere then. I love, this is the one that's an oracle but uses all of the RWS symbols. I used it a lot during the second round of Quarren streams. Maybe I shouldn't have candles lit around me whilst it's this warm, eh? That might help. I want to purchase a new deck for my birthday. Any advice? Oh gosh, well it depends. I mean, what's your kind of genre of tarot? What system do you follow or use? It's such a open question that would need to know sort of like your, firstly, what system do you like? Marseille decks, do you like Thoth decks, RWS, and then, you know, any particular genre. Where I live in the southeast US, all the homes and buildings have central air conditioning, but in the north they don't. It gets so hot here in the heat. Yeah, we don't have it here. It's very well, some modern kind of office complexes and things now, and I'd imagine some houses that are being built might start to have them, but as a rule none of our homes have aircon. You've not really needed it. Oh, Marsha's here. Hello. Have you snuck out your Lenormand class? Conrad has been so nice. He has made the Pam's old deck available in plastic. Yes. Yes, he has. So yeah, there's lots of options. CS Tarot is still one of my favourites, and Conrad's such a kind soul. I know. I'll always treasure the limited edition he did for me when I reached 10,000 subs. He put an additional card in there, and we put additional 2 cards in there, 2 extra Hermit cards, but one that said the Hermit's Cave under the Hermit, and then the YouTube symbol, and then the Roman numeral for 10,000, which was so lovely, and it was gold gilded, and yeah, it was one of a kind. So thank you, Elle, for putting the link to the Facebook group. So that's yeah, if you want to jump into Hermit's Cave Facebook group, and then you'll be able to, it's not just Conrad's artwork for tins, there's all manner of images in there for tins as well. So I love the full tin. The full card in the US, in the RWS, is one of my favourites. It's Marcia. Core, the perfect tin. Which one's the perfect tin? I'm probably so behind now, aren't I? you're the reason blushing fool prices went up. But I've actually, I get why you're saying that. I was going to say, I've actually been accused of that, but you know that. And that's why you put it. People don't care if it's a blushing fool or not, as long as it's a blue box, they snag it up. I don't agree. I think some people really try and get a blushing fool. A blue box is wonderful, you know, and I've got a spare blue box that's not a blushing fool. I think it's 2 years later. I think it was 1973. But because the blushing fool is rarer, it's more sought after. So some people do care and they are trying to get a blushing fool. But it's down to personal preference. Some people don't, might not care, but in general, I think it's one that's a bit like, you know, if you're a tarot collector, it's one that you want in your collection. Simon, what are your thoughts on Seasons of the Witch, Samhain Oracle? Their second deck, Yule, is coming out this year. Yeah, and I've bought it already. I bought it, I think, in March or April time, when it first went on Amazon for pre-order. I really like it. I like the fact as well that even though it's looking like it's going to take 8 years to complete, because when I did the walkthrough of the Samhain Oracle, Seasons of the Witch, Samhain Oracle, I was like, you know, there was rumours that it was a part of a series for each of the Sabbats. And I remember then thinking, well, if we get one out every 6 months, maybe in 4 years this will be done. But it was looking like 1 a year. So I've yet to see more of the images of the Yule one, but the Samhain one is great. And my two favourite Sabbats are Samhain and Yule. So yeah, so bye Rudy, thanks for popping in. So that's that. What else? Oh yes, talking of kind of vintage decks and things, Tarot Vintage, which I've done a walkthrough of. I've been saying for ages that I wanted to edge it, but I couldn't find. I like the Winsor & Newton Pro markers, and they don't really do one in like sepia or old paper. You can get the pads, but I don't trust myself with the pads. I can see them bleeding, because if you're rubbing a pad along an edge, I guess it depends on how firmly you press really. But the pens I'm talking about, Winsor & Newton Pro marker, and I looked through and I couldn't find one that I liked, and I didn't even know, but I mean, it's got to be copyright, hasn't it? Exactly the same style Pro marker, but this is by Letraset, so it's exactly the same type pen, unless it's the same company trading under two different names, I don't know, but they're identical. And this one is Spice. Well, I shouted that, didn't I? Spice, I'm not sure if it's coming up or not. And it's perfect because this deck has these beautiful kind of orangey, peachy colours. Look at the edges. It's come out like wood. I'm not sure if it's showing up properly on the camera, but it's even got like a texture, but it matches with the backs because it's the blood and custard type roses and lilies, but more kind of faded out. But it really matches with the colours in this deck. Try and show a few more where they've got that colour. It appears loads this colour throughout the deck on all the garments and things. So yeah, and there's the fall, if he likes the fall, and he's got that colour as well. So it's not coming out exactly as I'm seeing it, because there's kind of like shading to it, but when it's like this, it's really nice, and it has that kind of antique-y feel. So, and it's giving it a bit of a sheen as well. Can you see that? A bit of a sheen. It's really, really lovely. So I was really pleased. It's one of my best deck edgings that I've done. No bleeding at all. Really, really nice. Is that one slippery? That one slippery. The deck? No, it's low scarabeo, but it's really nice. I didn't mean it like that. It's low scarabeo, but it's got like it's not glossy. It's just really nice cardstock. It's really good cardstock. It's thicker than Llewellyn. Can you see it's got like a sheen, but not a slippery sheen. It's really, really nice. I love this. It's one of this and Conrad's Pam's old deck is, you know, my favourites from this year for RWS and variations. In fact, I'll leave this out. We'll pull a card from that at the end. Love this back. Well, it's the same back as the Dirty Pam. Only, so the backs that we're used to seeing, obviously, from the 1909, the very original RWS deck from 1909, is the Roses and Lilies, and it's blue and white. So what Lo Scarabeo did when they released the Dirty Pam, which was called originally, before it was rebranded and became Radiant Wise Spirit, was the Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot. Changed the coloration to this, what I call blood and custard colour, and they've stuck with it for the vintage, but they've muted the colours and aged it into a vintage kind of version of it. So pretty edging, Simon. Thank you, Scott. I want to put my cards back upside down. Simon, where can I find your Dirty Pam deck with dramatic colours, because it's out of print? You can't. It is out of print. The only place you can find it is on auction sites. There are murmurings. I don't know how true it is. I think it's more wishful thinking that it might be coming back, because when the when the Radiant Wise Spirit released their mini version, it wasn't the mini version of the Radiant Wise Spirit, even though it was branded as such. It was of the original Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot, with the borders and the same cardstock and everything, not this heavy laminated glossy borderless one. And then there is a part work over here, I think it's in 12 parts or something like that, around the tarot, and you can subscribe to it, and they are sending cards to you to create your own deck, and it is the Dirty Pam, as in the original Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot. So if they're producing it for that, people are putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 20, I think, but it would be lovely. And we know that marketing departments within publishers like Schiffer, like US Games, Llewellyn, Liminal 11 and Lo Scarabeo, all of them watch the YouTube videos. They follow social media. That's what marketers do now, you know. Social media is a way for them to get their products out and to market them, but also to have their finger on the pulse to see what's hot and what's not. So that's why when we talk about, oh, you know, wouldn't it be nice if it's borderless, suddenly we had a proliferation of borderless decks coming out. When we're saying about, oh, glossy cardstock, you know, Hay House are producing more of their decks as matte, so are Schiffer, Red Feather. So they do listen and they do respond. So maybe Lo Scarabeo, you know, realising that they can actually make money if they stop the Radiant Wise Spirit and bring it back as what Pamela Coleman Smith Tarot was. But it's all speculation, unless anything's changed in the last few weeks. So, wow, there's 91 of us here. Hello everybody. I caved and bought the Dark Mansion last night. How is that cardstock? Well, I've got a dark mansion up for trade because I got. Where are we? The best thing to show. It means moving. So many things. Well, no, I'm grabbing the wrong thing. This is the dark mansion I've got for trade, which is a first edition. But oh, Ben, I'm just moving this out of the way, and look, there's the tarot you mentioned last week, the Hesicos. I'm gonna end up having decks everywhere now. Oh, because this is my favourite dark mansion. So this is the deluxe version that came out at the end of 2018, which is in this lovely wooden box. It's got this. It's got your authenticity card. This is gorgeous. So this is a really large deck. As you can see, really large, with these backs, which I think they put on the smaller ones in the end. The brushed gold gilding and the rose petal finish. It's beautiful. But I found that I wasn't using it because it's deluxe and I've got the smaller version, and then I thought, well, why have I got it? Because it wasn't, the bag as well is luxurious. Why have I got it if I'm not going to use it? And then I thought, I don't need to. It's not one I use enough to need a backup for. So I thought I may as well let one go. So this one, when you're asking about the cardstock, I think now this also comes in rose petal, but this is the first edition, and that's the backs that came. They are matte, but they're not rose petal, but they are lovely, lovely cardstock. So, gosh, I am red hot. I'm gonna have after I finish this live, I'm gonna be like, right, let's put everything back. And if you were people, because we mentioned this deck last week, the Hesicos Tarot is also out of print. But when I interviewed Ben last week, he was saying how much he loved it. These are the backs. This was a gift for my birthday from Sandra at the Whispering Well, and it's gorgeous. I really, really love it. And the minors have a character that goes through the minors. Look at that for a Chariot card. Get your fan, Simon, we will wait. It might be too noisy though. Love the forward. Look at the forward. Yeah. Look. It's the same characters through the minors, they just go up. I've got 3 cards together here that go up, so that illustrates it. Love the moon card. I love faces in moons and suns, as you know. I keep saying it. So the sun and moon card I really love. Death is wonderful. Go on, Simon, you are melting. Do you know what's happened as well? I think why it's getting hotter and hotter. The fan has come on with my MacBook. I can hear it whirring, so even my MacBook is getting overheated. Simon, I need that deck. I know, it's gorgeous, isn't it? I feel really blessed to have it. Look at the little toad. Yay, moon faces make me happy. Go get your fan. I'm being shouted at, so I'm going to go and get my fan. You're going to see me legs though as I walk off, because I've only got shorts on and it's not a pretty sight. Bear with. give me a sec. Oh, what do I unplug? I don't want to lose you all. Is that too noisy? It's lovely and it's going to blow my candles and things. But is it too noisy? Can you still hear me okay? Hey Rachel. Not noisy. Oh, that's good. No, it's all good. Simon's getting cool. Simon, you have lovely legs. Oh, you sweet talker, Scott. Tell him, guys. No, Simon, it's just you. I don't know what you're saying, but... so I'm glad you can all still hear me anyway. What was we talking about? I've lost me gist. I've lost my trail of thought. Showed you the deck that I edged. Oh, I ended up showing you Hesse Coast, didn't I? Because I got the Dark Mansion, yeah. So, sorry. That was in response to the question about what's the card stock like for Dark Mansion. So, I think now even the standard size comes as rose petal. Some people like that, some people don't. I know that some were saying, oh, I wish they hadn't. And then they was trying to get the original one because it's easier to shuffle and stuff. But I actually really like rose petal. So, that's why I'm keeping the deluxe and trading the other. It's fine, not noisy. That's good. I've decided CC&C is a perfect time to sit and work on plans for my tarot deck. Ooh, wow. We're inspiring Anne to create a deck. What beautiful rabbit or hare on your shelf? Yes, this one. It's gorgeous. Do you know, this was just from a supermarket. I've got a supermarket over here called Tesco's, and it was downstairs in Tesco's, and there's I've got some lovely hares, but this one it just sat on the shelf, and I thought, wow, it's not a moon gazing one or anything like that, it's just sat there, but it goes nice on my little sacred space here, below my goddess. When I go to Glastonbury, got the goddess here, I'm getting a god to go here, and then I'll have the candle in the middle. So she's not going to be on her own for much longer. I could only get one each year that I've been, so I'll get the god when I go next time. I've already seen the one that I want. Simon, do you have Nikisha's Rabbit Oracle? I do. You mean tarot, Rabbit Tarot? I've got 3 versions of it. I've got the standard, the mini, and then I've got the anniversary edition that was sent to me as well, which was really lovely. Now I don't think there is a... Oh, there could be Tammy Pie, but I think they're referring to... Oh, she came out of an Oracle too. Wow. I've got the White Rabbit Oracle. I forgot who that's by now, which is really nice. Oh, I didn't realise there was an Oracle. That's exciting. I just had one of those walk up to me in my backyard last night whilst I was outside smoking. It was huge. Not even shy. Wow, they normally are really shy, aren't they? If I've missed any questions or anything, then just tag me in them or put it in caps, and I'll try and pay closer attention to stuff. Because I think I'm going to move now into the tag that I want to do a response to, which was by not Anna, well, it is by Anna from Astral Lady Tarot, and the tag is called Cliche Tarot Reader, I think it's called. And when I first saw it, I was like, Cliche Tarot Reader, and I think it was Marsha had done a live, and it said, am I a cliche tarot reader? And I was like, oh, what's this? You know, cliche. But actually, it's quite fun, and I am proud to say I am a cliche tarot reader. And I make no quibbles about that, because I think there are 11 kind of prompts, and 10 out of 11 I can identify with. So I'm very cliche, if cliche is the right word. So, question 1 is, and these are supposed to say if you identify with these, then you're a cliche tarot reader. But you have more than one version of a deck. Yep. And lots of people are giving RWS as their example. So, just move the microphone. And if I was to get them out now, we'd still be here probably in a couple of hours' time, because on last count, I'd got over 50 different versions of RWS. And I don't mean decks that follow an RWS system, because there's hundreds of them, but I love RWS. As I've just demonstrated here, this is a version of the RWS, and this is a version of the RWS. It's using Pixie's artwork and doing something different to it, like recolouring it, or this is a version of the RWS. Both of these are versions of the RWS. So yes, I do, but I also just demonstrated with Dark Mansion different versions of it. So I can't get them all out, but what I've done here is just a couple of visuals. So that's the cubby hole that is there, okay, just above me. Oh. And in that is around 30. There's about 30, but they are pure RWS decks. So as you can see, when I was talking about the blue box and the yellow box, they're the ones centre. They're both blushing fulls in the full size and the mini. And then there's a new version there, look, which is the playing cards one, which is a full RWS deck as well. Also behind me in the tins, which is this could be hole here, there's numerous RWS versions in there. As you can see, there's the Hoi Polloi, there's the Albano, there's my another red blue box, there's JK Wait, there's the Royal Fez Moroccan, there's the Al, help me out, what's the one with the 70s design on the back that you get on mugs and wallpaper? You've got a mini version of it, and I was like, what? I forgot what it's called now. What is it called? It will come to me. And then I've got ones that are, like the Neo Rider collection. They're all RWS decks as well. So, yes, I have multiple versions, but I love RWS, and I love seeing what other creators can do, honouring, and for me, it has to honour Pixie. So I love seeing what creators can do to honour her artwork, and whether it brings it up to modern day, or just different kind of atmosphere, shading, colours. Golden Rider, thank you, Jackie. Golden Rider, yeah, I love Golden Rider. That is redrawn, but it's still very much a redrawn of each card. But I love the kind of like the block colours and everything. It's very 70s. So yeah, so guilty for prompt 1. Number 2, backup decks. So you're a cliche tarot reader if you have backup decks. Yeah, and people are always obsessed with numbers. So one of the questions I get asked the most is how many decks you have. And I go to my app and I'll say, oh, I've got X amount of decks. But it suddenly dawned on me that if you put more than one copy in, it doesn't add it to the number. And I wasn't aware of that for the longest time. So I've got more decks than I thought. But if a deck is a favourite deck, then I will get a backup for it. And that's not, living in fear or anything like that. All that is, we've all been stung in the past this is one of my favourite RWSs ever, and I kept meaning to get a backup, and I was like, other things are taking priority, it's on mate playing cards, it's not going anywhere, it's gone. I'm glad I've still got this copy, but I never was able to get a backup. I do have a backup of the 1909, but, you know, and 2 copies of the Dirty Pam and all that sort of stuff. But, yeah, if we've been stung where they've gone out of print, and if it's a deck that I love and I know I'm going to get a lot of use out of it, I like to have a backup that's in pristine condition that I don't mind too much then. I mean, I still don't want anything to happen to the original, but, you know, 10, 20 years from now, if it's all tattered and I've got a backup to use. So I'm just going to check, see if I've been tagged or comments. Which deck do you use the most? Which is your workhorse? I guess the one I use the most at the minute is, it depends, because it's usually always an RWS that's my workhorse. But it depends, because like at the moment I'm really loving Conrad's deck, so I'm using that all the time. But if I want a traditional RWS, I'll probably grab for the study deck. Also, if I do readings for other people, I'll use my original Dirty Pam that was trimmed, because this, because it's trimmed, I can get more on my reading space. So when I'm reading for other people and I'm filming down, I can get a good 9 cards or 13 cards if I'm doing a year ahead spread or something like that. So this deck tends to be a workhorse deck as well, but for others. But if I'm using it just for myself, then it'll probably be something like my study deck. And my Blushing Fool is in a box over there, so that is kept really nice, but I do get it out occasionally because I just love the experience of holding that and playing it. Is it the Groovy Weight, Simon, you were referring to? No, that's one of Tarot Collectibles, isn't it? Yeah, it was the golden weight that Jackie told me about. Do you have a giant RWS? I do have a giant RWS. So if you see in this picture, it's the 2 at the back, at the very back. So there's the one that's the premium edition of the what do they call that one now? Mine's gone blank. Is it Arthur Edward Waite's tarot? Let me have a look. Tarot of AE Weight. So I've got the giant in Tarot of AE Weight in the back, and I've got the US Games Yellow Box Giant. But for my larger decks, the one I really enjoy the most, again, is my CS Tarot in the large jumbo edition. It's not as large or cumbersome as the US Games one. It's kind of like, well, if I hold up a standard tarot, you kind of see the size difference. But it's nice, and the images are really crisp and clear. I edged this to match the back. So I've got this amber back, so I edged it in the same. So the CS Tarot Jumbo is my preferred one, and that's out on my desk as well. So that's good if I'm talking like this and I'm showing cards. It's good to show them because you get more clarity and because of the size of them. Just look, Study Deck is back on NPC. What? Study Deck is back on NPC. Wow. I hope it's there Friday on payday. Wow, that's really good news. Thank you for letting us know, Alistair. Simon, what is the deck on the left of the Smith Waite playing cards in front? What is the deck on the left of the Smith Waite playing cards? That is the vintage in the mini, which is, when I first got this was the only version that was available. And it's from Real, My Lucky Card, you know, Pam's vintage. So originally it came like this, in a little clear case. And then you could get the full size, probably a good 6 months or so later that came out. So yeah, that's a lovely RWS as well. What is MPC? Make playing cards. Make playing cards. Tarot tattoos. I have tarot tattoos. I probably have to stand up for this or twist myself round. But I've got Deviant Moon on this arm, so that's the Flying Skull from. It's in the Deviant Moon book, and it appears on lots of Patrick's artwork. Then I have the Deviant Moon tattoo here, which I love. Oh, there's a tannoy announcement. I don't know how else to do it on this arm because it won't show, but I'll have to do it standing up. So there's Pixie's signature. It's upside down though, but that's Pixie's signature that appears on all RWS cards. And then I've got each of the elements plus spirit, which, you know, when you push together is the pentacle, but that represents the tarot, the major arcana, and then each of the minor suits. So that's my tarot tattoos. What's your most recent tattoo? The most recent one was the Pamela Colm Smith one, which I did just before lockdown, and then when lockdown ended I went and had it touched up because there's a lot of black in that and it didn't take properly, but faded. So that's my most recent one, my Pamela Colm Smith tattoo. Now, prompt 4 is one that doesn't apply. That's a long tannoy announcement. Tea drinker. So I do occasionally drink tea. Occasionally. But, as you all know, my cuppa is coffee. I love coffee. And I think if you're a Cliche tarot reader, you drink tea because it's supposed to be calming and relaxing. And tea drinking can also be a spiritual practice. You only have to ask Marsha, who was just in here not long ago. Good morning, Tamaya. Nice to see you. So yeah, I'm not a tea drinker per se. I will have occasionally a cup of tea, but in the main it's coffee for me. And I'm really into cold brew coffee at the minute. It's all I really drink at work, because where I work, it's right next to a coffee shop. So I'm not going to mention, because all the good coffee shop companies are available, but it's a very well known American one. And they're cold brew coffee. And I walked past a little independent shop the other day, and you can buy cold brew making kits, but they were so expensive. And I was like, well, I'd probably save myself a fortune if I made my own, but buying all the kit for it. Coffee is every day for me, and tea is for special occasions. Yeah, like we was talking earlier, you know, if we went out for like high tea or afternoon tea, and you had like jam and cream scones and sandwiches and little fingered cakes and things like that, then a nice pot of tea, I'd probably go with either Assam or Earl Grey, would be nice, you know, in that situation. But I would never really go into the kitchen and make myself a cup of tea. I'd always make myself a coffee. Bickies too, with a biscuit, of course. I try and avoid biscuits, although I do have hi-fi bars, and they're quite nice with a cuppa in the evening. But yeah, what's your favourite biscuit? You see, if I could just go down to the supermarket now, I say down because I'm above one. If I could go down to the supermarket now, and if I could get them, it would be dark chocolate hobnobs. I mean, milk chocolate are nice, and I have to have them in the fridge. Can't have chocolate biscuits that are just kept in the cupboard. They have to come out of a fridge. Oh, and dark chocolate hobnobs are amazing. Anyway, moving on. Crystals. What can I say? and a few people have said the other day, "Oh, I like your new crystal," and they were referring to this one because it's come back out and it's made an appearance. This isn't a new crystal. This is an old crystal. Well, I say old. It's about 10 years, but this is the moment that I felt accepted on my new spiritual path, because my mum, who's Mormon, and as you know I was very sort of not poo-pooing, but didn't really understand, after I left the church and everything. And we was on holiday at the seaside, and she said, "Oh, I want to buy you a gift." And I said, "Oh, you don't need to buy me a gift." She said, I want to buy you a gift that you'll appreciate and kind of treasure." And I saw this, I was looking at it, and I thought, she will never get me this. And she offered to buy it, and I was like, oh my goodness. But there's a fleck, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to try and catch it. You can see it head on here. Do you see that fleck? And when the sun catches it, you get the whole prism of colour. It's absolutely stunning. So thank you for those that's noticed it, but it isn't new. It's just that I've moved it from one side. I wanted it around me on the desk. So it's one of my favourite. But I've got loads of crystals. Oh, I've got a bowl here. This is they're all falling now. Absolutely over brimming with tumbled stones, crystals. And this is a really deep bowl. I think I got this bowl from Glastonbury the first time I went, and that's full of tumbled stones. So, and then my favourite crystal wand. This is the one that has all the chakras on it. I've had this almost 20 years now, 2003, so 18 years I've had this. And then my favourite crystals are malachite, and this is my malachite bowl. This whole bowl is malachite crystal, and I've got a malachite duck that was sent to me. I've got beautiful pieces of malachite in this bowl. I've got an elephant because I love elephants in malachite. This was my first ever malachite piece, and I love that. And it's got little bits of chrysocolla in it as well. But yeah, and then a big, huge piece of malachite here. That was an expensive piece. So I have a malachite bowl. I'm going to get it so you can see it rather than sliding everywhere. Full of malachite crystals. And then you've all seen my latest crystal, my latest purchase, which is Rosie. So she's made out of rose quartz. That's Rosie, my goddess crystal. She sits here on my desk. So, a storm's coming. Stay safe, Orshi. So yeah, and then I've got crystals everywhere in this flat, everywhere. Next to where I sit, I've got 8 fire and ice crystals surrounding a crystal ball to represent each of the sabbats, and they're on my sacred space. In fact, every room in the house has got a crystal in it, even the bathroom. So I got a freaking slab of selenite. Oh wow. And 3 degrees of love. I just bought some new crystals this week. Wow, it's a lot of malachite. I know, I love malachite. And I've collected them over the last 20 years. Where did you find your suit trinkets? On your altar. They are so cool. Suit trinkets? I'm not sure what you mean. Bye Ben, nice to see you too. Don't forget your sun cream on your walk tomorrow, Duck. I won't. Next one is books about tarot. Yeah, I did a quarantine stream where I showed all my tarot books, and if I remember later I'll try and link it in, but I showed them all and there was over 30. I've got over 30 books on tarot. So I've got a bookshelf in the hall, which this shelf here is full of tarot books. They're all tarot books. So look at my little skeletons at the top. Hear no, speak no, see no. And then here behind me on my desk, well in front of me on my desk, I've got all tarot books there as well. So I've got a lot of tarot books. And I've kind of stopped buying tarot books now because, I mean, if they come with a deck, great, because, you know, it's an explanation behind the creative process, why people have chosen what they've chosen to represent each of the archetypes, etc. But, you know, a lot of the books I bought in the early stages was because I wanted to hear someone's thoughts on the cards, but I feel, and I don't want this to sound conceited in any way, but I feel like I've read enough about other people's views on tarot. That said, you know, I could be sat here in 6 months' time saying this book that's just been released is amazing, probably. But I've got a wealth of books that I can draw upon. One of my favourite is WTF is Tarot by Barbara Whitner. I love that book. And there's some really good ones as well. Tarot Wisdom, 78 Degrees. You know, there's some great books. But, yeah, I've kind of plateaued now where I don't really buy books now. I think that they mean the little ones you put on the mat above your daily reading. Oh, I'm with you. So what you're talking about, I've got my iPad in the way, so I might not be able to get them, is I have a little cup for the cups. I have a wand, a sword, and a pentacle. So the idea came from, I bought a deck that was limited run, oh gosh, back end of last year, I think, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. It's an RWS themed one with animals. Bear with, you're going to see my legs again, because I know where the deck is. It was up here. The Heartspun Tarot. So the Heartspun Tarot, and it came with a set of trinkets. But the pentacle was really tiny, so I did swap that. This is a pentacle I'd got off an old piece of jewellery, so I swapped that and put it on there. But everything else came from that, and I thought, what a great idea, you know, to have on your reader space something to represent the elements. Because I've always been somebody that surrounded myself with crystals for earth, you know, incense for air, candles for fire, and I've got my little goddess chalice that has water in it from the chalice well at Glastonbury around me. But having these as a representation as well, I often forget to fill my little cup with water though. So if that's what you're referring to, that's where they came from. The idea was from the Heartspun Tarot. Trinklements, that's the word I use as well. Is somebody else using it? Yeah, little trinklements. Tarot journal. So I've had so many tarot journals. He looks up at his stash of tarot journals, and I'm not brilliant at journaling best of times, but I've shared this before. But my journal system now, rather than having loads of different ones, is I've gone back to Filofax. So this comes everywhere with me. It was an investment. It was a lot of money for one this size, but this is my tarot journal, and it's separated in segments. So I've got notes, I've got quotes, where I've got some favourite quotes, tarot tube content, so ideas about creating content, numerology, there's all sorts in here. But then I have a section for tarot, for my daily draws and my thoughts about my daily draws, etc. And then I have my work stuff. So this is all my work stuff, meetings and or that kind of thing. So yeah, so I use a good old fashioned Filofax, but this beast has everything in it. I still keep my Midori because I love my Midori. I've had this for years now, and the leather on it is getting really soft and battered, and it's gorgeous. So I still keep that. But I started using Hobonichi, and it was really expensive. So the time you bought the new insert, and if you wanted to change your covers, you could be spending about £80. And I thought, I'm going to be spending that every year. So I thought I may as well spend about 100. I think this was 125, and then I had to get the inserts that I wanted. But this will last, hopefully, a lifetime. So, you know, and then all I need to do each year is change my segments that go into it. So number 8 is shuffling, and just shuffling for the purpose of shuffling. Guilty. I do that usually in the evenings. So last night Govinda was live over at Gypsy Heart Tarot, and I just sat while he was live. I'd eaten my dinner, and I edged my deck that I've showed you, and then I just sat shuffling. And I love to sit and shuffle because I find it really relaxing. It's a tactile experience, but also I like the sound of it. I know that sounds really bizarre, but when you sit and you're just, you know, that sound, I love it. Oh, even when you clank. But yeah, it's really nice. It's just a lovely experience. And I'll sit sometimes for ages and just shuffle. Sometimes I'll just stop and I'll split the deck and I'll look at the card and I'll think, oh, okay, you know. But in the main, it's quite relaxing. Something to do with your hands, and it's just nice. It's just nice, but I love the sound as well. The smell ain't bad either. So yeah, I shuffle for the fun of it, really. Yeah, I like it too. It's easier to meditate. Just you wait till you can riffle them. Don't think it's going to happen now. I've tried before. If I can't riffle with a plastic deck, what hope have I got? Are you feeling cooler now, our Simon? I am, Jackie. It's lovely, actually. I'm bone dry, and the fan is only about, I don't know, 3 feet away from me. And yeah, it's lovely. It's really lovely and cool. So I'm glad I took your gentle persuasions. Let's put it that way. Not bizarre at all, Simon. Love it too. Connects several senses. Yes, Tammy Pie does. I'm going to have that silly song in my head every day. I don't know if I know it. I don't know if I want to know it, because then I'll have it in my head. Oh, every day I'm shuffling. I don't know it, so I'm probably pleased that I don't know it. I stopped riffling after the cards gave me calluses in 4 different places on my hands. Yeah, and there's some decks that I just wouldn't riffle. I wouldn't riffle with something that's gilded, metallic gilded. I wouldn't riffle perhaps with the rose petal finish decks. I don't know. So I just think, well, overhand suits every occasion. You didn't want to. A terrible earworm. Yeah, exactly. And I agree with Lily Valley as well. Shuffling is a way to connect with the energy of the deck. Yeah, you can really bond with a deck. Just like you can when you modify a deck, you can really bond with it because you're kind of co-creating then. But shuffling a deck, you know, you're imbuing those cards with your energy, aren't you? So, fairy lights. Now, I don't have fairy lights. I used to. When I first moved into this apartment, this corner here, I had a huge bucket full of reeds. You know, I don't suppose they're called reeds. I forget what you call them now, but almost like very big long sticks. But they were proper, like little skinny branches. And I used to have like 100 white lights all around them, and it used to be quite nice. And I've always really liked, you know, coloured lights in particular, especially deep ones like the LED ones, the blues or the purples. And I've got my branches that I bring out at Christmas that have fairy lights on them, but I don't have fairy lights around me for doing YouTube content or anything like that. That said, my goddess in the corner here, she doesn't have a tea light in her because apparently they can catch fire. So I got one of those battery operated fairy lights, and I just scrunched them up. You know the fairy lights, little ones that's on a wire? I scrunched them up into a ball and switch them on, and that's what gives her the light. So thank you so much for listening and getting the fan. I couldn't bear watching you melt, possibly fainting and not being able to help you. I wouldn't have fainted. But thank you for your concern. Colour changing LED light bulb siren, 100% worth it. You can pick a colour or have the smooth transition through all. Oh wow, I got this, which I could plug in and show you, but this is beautiful. This is colour changing, and it's one of those diffusers, you know, you put your essential oils in with some water, it plugs in, but that I really love because it's LED, but it changes gradually through all this spectrum of colours, and the purple and the pinks are really beautiful with this kind of aesthetic. It's almost like a Moroccan style, but oh, really beautiful. That's on the little table next to where I sit. That diffuser is gorgeous. Yeah, you should see it lit up. It's really beautiful. Candles is number 10, second to last one. Candles, yes. Always got a lit candle somewhere. And again, behind me here, light crystals. Talking of which, I didn't show you this. This is a beautiful crystal as well. I've had this one a number of years. But anyway, I'm not talking about crystals, I'm talking about candles. Light crystals, I've got candles in every room, even the bathroom. I mean, it's lovely, isn't it? Soaking in a hot bath with candles lit. Really, really nice. But there's something about, I don't get to use them much in summer. I'll have them on my desk. But in winter, when it's dark at 4 PM and you get home from work, and I get into my gym jams, central heating's on, I put some low lighting on, and then I light my candles in here, and there's just something really calming and relaxing of candle light. I love it. And to read cards, I know I said that I light it because it's fire and I'm, you know, working with the energies, the elements, but I don't know, there's just something, I don't think I could enjoy the experience of reading for myself early in the morning or late at night without some candles lit as well. Do you do scrying with your crystals? I have done scrying with my crystals, but I've got a scrying bowl, which I bought years ago from Nemesis now, and I've got a scrying mirror, which I have better results with, but I do have a crystal ball. I'll show you my crystal ball, because it's only here. So this is my crystal ball, and it's on 3 broomsticks. I've got 3 broomsticks as a crystal ball holder that this sits on. It weighs a ton, but I have scryed with this in the past as well. Look how I'm holding it, I'm like... Let me just pop that back. Ooh, I'm ducking in and out, aren't I? So the last one then is a tarot table. So do you have like a dedicated space? So Anna herself said, I can read pretty much anywhere, and I can, you know, I've always got a deck of cards on me. They're either in my work bag or my rucksack. They're all around me here. But if I'm reading for myself at home, then I sit this way on, obviously, at my desk. I've got all my stuff around me, my lovely crystals, candles, incense. I've got reading mats and cloths, and I'll read here. This is my dedicated space for doing my daily draws and spreads. Oh Simon, you're on the same page as me. Can't wait for the dark nights to put candles on. Yeah, I don't get me wrong. I love all the seasons. My favourite is spring, but I love all the seasons, and I'm glad I live in a country that pretty much has those seasons because I like to experience them. So I'm enjoying summer at the moment. I am enjoying it. I'm not rushing it away, but I also get very excited when autumn starts and the leaves start to change colour and then they start to fall and there's that crispness in the air and the nights start drawing in. So I embrace them. I still struggle with January and February and always have done all my life. I like to get through January and February as quickly as I can. And I think it just stems back from childhood, you know. You have things to look forward to. The summer holidays are everything when you're a kid, aren't they? And then you think, well, we've got Halloween coming up and we had Goose Fair at the beginning of October that we look forward to. So you had Goose Fair, Halloween, Bonfire Night over here, which is Guy Fawkes Night, the 5th of November. And then it's into the Christmas season. And then Christmas is great when you're a kid for most people. But then you've got the dark, depressive January and February with nothing to look forward to until Easter, if you even, you know. So I just used to really struggle with January and February, going to school in the dark, coming home in the dark. They were wet, they were cold, and they just seemed to go on and on. Those months, even though February is one of the shortest months, January is one of the longest, they just seemed to go on and on and on. And spring seemed like forever away. Get through February, depressing. Your daughter's birthday, I'm wounded. Yeah, but you're the sparkling little light in February. And sometimes we get to see each other, don't we? Because we met up in February. Did we do it twice? At Becca's? Can't remember. But yeah. So, yeah, so that's it. That's all 11 prompts. And apart from one, which I'm an occasional tea drinker. Oh, no, two really, because the fairy lights aren't really part of my aesthetic. I'm a Cliche tarot reader, but I'm happy with that. I'm happy to be. So, let's see if there are any final comments or questions before I pull a card and wrap up. It's been lovely to chat and hang out. That's what she said. What did I say? I must have said something. The Little Buddha Tarot has finally finished its campaign. Thanks to you, Simon, I backed it and cannot wait to finally receive it. Well, that's exciting. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. Really cute, lovely colours. I'm just checking back to see if there's any questions I missed. I think I've covered everything. I think so, yes. All tea, no shade, love. Simon, what's your favourite incense? Okay, I will show you because it'll be quicker. And being as I'm up and down anyway, once more won't hurt. So this is my incense basket. So I had a good clear out. My friends came last week and I gave them a carrier bag full of incense because there's really only 4 types of incense that I really, really like. So my Morning Star, which I love, you know, the cedar Morning Star. That's what I like when I'm here at my desk. But I've got a big bowl under my Buddha that has rice in it, and I the stick incense I like. So I like these tribal souls. They're changing their packaging now from this kind of lighter colour to a darker colour. But there's the White Sage and Palo Santo and Pinion Pine, Sweetgrass and Cedar, there's a lavender one, Cuppa, White Sage and Dragon's Blood. So I've got about 15, 16 boxes of these, but they're gorgeous. So I love them. When I go to the coast, there is a little shop, and they didn't have any when I went with Sandra a few weeks ago. So these are the wild berry ones, and this one is the Desert Sage, and it has the green sticks. So I always look for the green sticks. And these burn for over an hour, and they are really, really lovely. They're really long, but gorgeous. So I love the wild berry Desert Sage. Is gorgeous. And then these, which I have to buy by mail. So years ago, and I'm talking probably 10 years ago, I met a lady called Dawn who was on a market stall down in the square. They only come once a year. It's like a world trade market. And I walked past her stand, and this aroma hit me, this most beautiful smelling incense. And I said, what have you got lit at the moment? And she said, it's called Loban. And I said, it's gorgeous. And she only had something like 2 packets left. So I said, well, I'll buy them. And then she said, well, and at first everybody was like, that's really dodgy. She said, do you know, if you send me a check, whatever you send me the check amount for, I will double it. So if you send me £15 by check, I will send you £30 worth of the incense. So I was like, okay. Didn't know her, but I trusted her. And I sent it, and she sent me double the amount. So we had an arrangement, and then they just stopped. And I found out, because a couple of years later, the market was back, and there was a man there, that she'd passed away. She'd got a terminal illness, and she'd passed away, which was really sad. And he didn't want to honour that deal of what we had. And I forgot about it, for years. And then on Facebook, my memories came up, and there was a picture of this incense, and it said, I'd put, the nicest smelling incense ever. So I got in touch, and I ordered some, and I bought 3 packs, and you put a 4th pack in. There's only 2 sticks left in this. So it's by a company called Mantra, and this is the Loban, and it is incredible. It's hand dipped, hand rolled, all that kind of stuff. You get an average of 12 sticks. It's not that expensive, but it's amazing. So Loban by Mantra, and if you're in the UK, you might want to freeze this now, because you can, all the information is there. It's Neil now that's taken over, but really, really lovely. And the tribal native soul, really, really nice incense, and the wild berry. So that's my basket, and that is under my table next to my big bowl where I put the incense sticks into. Oh, I'm creating a right little stash around me. Vanessa has asked for your thoughts on the Modern Way Tarot. The Modern Way Tarot, that's the one by Bacra Whitner, isn't it? Who did the, or is that the Way Home Tarot? Modern Way Tarot. Let me have a look. Modern Way Tarot. I think the Bacra Whitner one is Way Home Tarot. Modern Way Tarot. Oh, yes, I have seen these. I like it. It's very RWS. It kind of reminds me a bit of International Icons Tarot, which I've also got, which is out of print, in as much as it's kind of silhouette-y, blocky, These are the pictures, in case anybody else is wondering. And yeah, I like it. I do. I really like it. But I can't order anything at the moment because I'm saving for Glastonbury, and it's this time in 4 weeks we'll be there. So look out for the lives from the tour and stuff like that again. Wow, Simon, you could open an Etsy shop with your incense. I seem to do everything in excess, don't I? Anyway, so have I missed anything else? If not, then I will pull a card for us all, and then we will finish. I was just looking at that deck last night. Okay, let's have a message. Somebody here in the chat, or many of us in the chat, need a message. Need some direction, perhaps. Biddy Tarot, yes, it has got a Biddy Tarot vibe, Anne. You're right. Okay. Oh, we have the Six of Swords. Well, I asked for a guidance, a message for us. What can I say? If you feel at the moment like you're in troubled waters, then, you know, now is the time that you are going to start to feel like you're moving away from those difficulties. Okay? What's really important, though, is that we have to prepare ourselves for this journey. This is the sword suit. Okay, so the journey that we take, it might be a physical one where we go from one place to another. We might be leaving a situation behind and physically moving to a new location, new home, new situation, to move away from something that's, you know, we've experienced those troubled waters, those choppy waters. But we need to prepare ourselves for that journey too, because this is swords. So it's a mental journey that we will also experience. The key thing to remember with the Six of Swords is to keep looking at the journey ahead. Don't look back. Don't look back over your shoulder. One thing that we take from our past is experience, okay? Experience that help us to move forward so that we don't repeat any past mistakes, or we're more cautious about situations that we might potentially face that could take us back into similar situations, but we can't ever go back. You know, that's not how time works. Time is constantly moving. So don't look back over your shoulders. Don't live in the past. Learn from it. Take the lessons, but keep going forward. And those troubled times that you're experiencing now, what this card tells us is that there is a better shore. There are calmer waters. Okay? But prepare yourself. Prepare yourself mentally for that journey as well. Alright. Time to leave the past behind and keep going. I've really enjoyed that's where my tax refund is. Six of Swords. Don't focus on it. Keep going forward. It'll be there. It will come when you reach your shore. Yeah, I've really enjoyed being here for the last hour and a half. Thank you for being with me today. Lovely turnout. Lovely to interact with you all. Next Saturday is a catching up with, and I'm pleased, really thrilled that I'm going to be talking to Govinda from Gypsy Heart Tarot. So that will be the same time next Saturday, 4 p.m. UK time here in the Hermit's Cave. Govinda, Gypsy Heart Tarot, I think it's 3 weeks now into his YouTube journey. And he's been doing lots with Scott and Ben, who I interviewed last week, and Scott is going to be interviewed 2 weeks after that as well. So yeah, I hope you can join us next week while we have a cuppa and a catch up with Govinda. So thank you for being here. Lovely catch up, as I say, and I will see you probably in the week if I've got anything exciting to share, but if not, next Saturday for catching up with. Take care, everybody, and until next time, go in peace. Namaste, and blessed be.